Hey Gators and sports fans, get all your Gator talk, news, analysis, and opinions on the Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on Facebook Live between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every weekday. Pod Up, because we are Gator fans. So say it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Good morning and welcome to a Monday edition of Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Got a lot to talk about today. A lot happened over the weekend, and we're going to recap it. Our good friend of the program, Corn Dog JC himself. Yep. Good morning, JC. You're on the Titan MR hotline, my man.
I love being on the Titan MRI hotline. And yes, we do want to thank Big Joe for sponsoring and being a supporter of this program for so long. And certainly happy to be here with you on a Monday morning, QB. Nice weekend over, last couple of days. Big day yesterday in the NFL. And you know what? Bo Nix is now available in the transfer portal for the Florida Gators to go grab. What do you think of that?
Yeah, that really is. It's interesting because
it is.
His dad played there. They've given him every opportunity.
Every opportunity.
Obviously, Brian Harsin basically told him in the exit meeting, "We're going to go try to find us some quarterbacks. You can either compete or go find somewhere else." That's the only thing I can think of.
I agree, and that you're right. I mean, let's see. He's been there 3 years, and has he beaten Alabama? I don't know if he has or not. I know. Let's see. He didn't play this year. He lost last year. Did they beat Alabama? I think they did beat Alabama in 2019. Now that I think about it, but they are going to.
John says on Facebook Live that Tank Bigsby's in the portal too.
Okay, so
now I'll take him. I'll take him in a heartbeat.
Yeah, house cleaning in Auburn on the offensive side of the ball. Brian Harsin going to go after some other guys. I don't know. I mean, I think. Tank is a really physical, hard-nosed running back. I think he'd do great things for Florida if they could try to get him. And certainly, quarterback position is important. Anthony Richardson will not be in the bowl game, so it's Emory Jones at the Gasparilla Bowl for all the fans to watch. And,
sold out, by the way.
Yeah, I mean that's tremendous. I don't know how the hell it's sold out.
I don't believe it one bit. I don't believe.
I don't either. You're going to wait a minute. Now, let's see. How big is that stadium again?
Well, only thing I can think of is maybe they closed the upper decks for the Gasparilla Bowl.
Yes. I would not be one bit surprised about that. But, hey, it's football. Gators get to play, and it's another chance to watch the team out there run around against Central Florida. I think it'll be interesting from the aspect that we're playing. The Gators are going to get together with a team that I guess – has been trying to get them on the schedule. They wanted to do a home and home. Florida said, no, we'll do a 2-1 with you. And that's what they settled with. But now you got a game on a neutral field or whatever you want to call it down there in Tampa. So I think it's fun. And certainly I think, we'll see. But Richardson will not be in the game. So, or won't play. And this will be a chance for, I know it's not, that's just something I saw.
He may not even be our quarterback next year. People have him penciled in, but he's not.
He may not even be on the roster next year, QB. You never know. Nobody knows.
We've had a bunch of guys transfer, which I knew was going to happen, and the more that transfer, the better. Trust me, people. The more that transfer, the better. I don't know why people worry about it. Trust me. We will be a much better program when it's all said and done. JC, I know you watched Army Navy. Were you very upset?
I was disappointed. Certainly, you root for in this game. You kind of root for both teams in a way because they really are special. But yeah, I always root for Army in this one. And they come running out on the field. QB, you had to admit that was kind of cool. All the players running out with the American flag. Every player for Army has Old Glory waving with them there. And Navy guys run out there with the Navy flag, one flag. But anyway, Navy played well, and that was an upset. It's hard to say why that was an upset, but typically, you have Army playing for the Commander-in-Chief trophy, and they don't get it. And so Navy gets a year of bragging rights, and they get to sing their song last, as you would see, at the end of the game. So I have some very close friends who are Navy folks who took us to that game one year, and it was special, and I'll never forget it. And next year, I think they're going to play it in Baltimore. I think what they do is rotate between, I guess, the New York area, Philadelphia, and the Annapolis, Maryland, Baltimore area. So next year's game, I think, will be at M&T, which is where the Ravens play. And then they'll go back up to Philly and then just keep doing it that way, I think is how they're going to do it. But anyway, the game was, was 30 points. So the total was 34 or 35, and they couldn't get to that. But,
they scored 17 in the first quarter, I think.
I know. And so it was surprising that I think people who bet the under were a little nervous if they did bet the under. And I think it was surprising that it couldn't quite catch 34. But, after that first quarter. But, listen, give Navy a tip of the cap. Army had their chances this year. They had a winning record. Navy did not have a winning record. I don't know. It's a disappointment for Army for sure, though. I agree with that. Yeah.
We got a Facebook Live brought to you by Meldon Law, the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. Sandy says she's disappointed in the way the Bills played. I don't know what the hell game she watched. I thought the Bills played outstanding. They should have won the damn game. Before we talk NFL, before we go to NFL, I want to go back to the Army Navy game. I don't watch game day very often, but I had it on while I was doing stuff around the house, and they did a deal on the Navy football coach. I can't pronounce his name. Coach Ken. Let's call him Coach Ken.
Niamatololo.
Yeah, they're perfect. Okay, so they were showing their defense going through their practice after their last game or whatever, and they get in like this circle, and they're chopping their feet, and if you had a loaf because you weren't playing real hard, you had to run to the middle of the circle. And you say, "Hey, I'm John Cornell. I loafed on jet sweep against so-and-so." And you do an up-down. And then you run back to your spot. And everybody that was doing these loafs had to go to the center and do up-downs.
Yeah.
And then the defense coordinator called them all up when everybody was done doing their loafs. And basically, here's what he said. And I put it in my phone because I loved it. He goes, "If you have any loafs for this Army game, you might as well go ahead and put your ass in the transfer portal." I loved it. It. And they came out and won the game. Now, I will tell you this. If Florida did that defensively, they would be doing up downs for hours for loafs.
Well,
I can promise you the loafs will be addressed with this new coaching staff. But I thought that was phenomenal. I absolutely loved it. And man, that's accountability is what that is, JC. Accountability.
That is. Well, that's what they do, right? Navy, Army, Navy, Air Force. Certainly great effort for our Navy. I mean, the Naval Academy they just played it out. And listen, these kids know what's ahead for them. It's not the NFL. They go out there and play it because they just want to win football games and have their teams up there on the board with the score against Army and Air Force and vice versa. And that's important to them. I mean, just winning these games, that nobody's thinking pro football. There is none of that. And it's a whole different mindset. And as we've said, one of the most special things is that they all pride themselves knowing that everybody on that field would die for everybody watching. It's the only game you'll have that would die for everyone watching. So it's an important thing. And it's a great game at the end of the football season. Then we have the Heisman Trophy ceremony. The guy you said that shouldn't have been there did get the second. And what's crazy is if you put his stats next to Will Anderson.
Will Anderson almost doubled his stats in every category. It makes absolutely no sense to me. It's embarrassing.
Well, QB, I think it has to do with, and I'm not disagreeing with you one bit. You're 100% accurate on everything you just said. But I think a lot of it has to do with regionality and geography. I think they wanted somebody.
That's the only thing. Yeah.
They wanted him to represent the Midwest, the Big Ten, Michigan football. They wanted Harbaugh there. They wanted those things to happen. But honestly, it's surprised me that he got more votes than Kenny Pickett, or he got more votes than C.J. Stroud. I mean, C.J. Stroud had an absolutely phenomenal statistical year this year. And, they lost twice, but his numbers were fantastic. for a freshman out of California. I mean, it's just, better days are coming for Ohio State. And, this is the end of the road for Pickett at Pitt, but he got the ACC championship because of him. So I was surprised by that too, QB. I think it was nothing more than just a kind of a novelty vote for Hutchinson. Not taking nothing away from Aiden Hutchinson. Great season, good player. His father was an All-American. I get all that. But Will Anderson's numbers were better, and he wasn't there. So
Brandon says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Metal Law, put Dexter's stats next to Jordan Davis, almost identical. Yeah, but they're not even close to the same player. I mean, that's like night and day. That's JC, do you know who won the Grey Cup? I watched the ending of the Grey Cup.
I missed the Grey Cup. I missed it.
It went into overtime. It's only like the third time in the history of the Grey Cup. Okay. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers go back to back.
Oh, wow.
And
Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan is on fire.
The Tiger Cats of Hamilton. And it was pretty
Ontario.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love watching the Grey Cup.
Yeah, the Grey Cup, the Canadians get into that, and it's really cool. And I agree with you. It's a great event. Blue Bombers, man, good for them. I've got some folks, believe it or not, down the street, 2 houses who are actual Winnipeg. They originated, they were born, raised, and lived in Winnipeg, and they moved down here because of a job, but they still have kids in Winnipeg. So they do talk about their Blue Bombers, QB. So it's a big win.
Turn your car or truck into a rolling billboard for your business or brand with an eye-catching vehicle wrap from Wrap Spot. This December, mention promo code Shane, receive 13% off your vehicle wrap. All right, JC, the other thing I wanted to bring up, we got a lot of NFL to talk about, but first, basketball, Florida loses. Oh, man, it was a fun game to watch. Those two teams were battling up in Brooklyn. Florida loses on a last-second shot, had an opportunity to win again, loses to Maryland. FSU lost to a bad South Carolina team. Alabama with a huge win over Houston. It was very controversial at the end. I don't know if you saw on Twitter how some of the players were throwing chairs. The coaches were kicking chairs, dumping over trash cans as they went into the locker room. And then
they were upset.
Give credit.
Sampson. Yeah.
To not Sampson. He was one leading the damn.
Oh, I know, but he profusely apologized yesterday.
Well, that's fine. But during one of the Houston players walks into the tunnel named Jamal Sheed, who's a really good player. He stopped and picked up all the trash. And that right there shows me a lot. I mean, that was awesome on his part.
Yeah, I mean, let's just tell Nate Oates to send the bill for those chairs. Those chairs were not cheap chairs that they were trashing on their way out, QB. Did you see those chairs they were trashing? But Houston's a good team, really good team. It was a really exciting game to watch if you had a chance to. And you've got 2 top 10 teams playing, in my opinion. Even though Houston was ranked 14th or whatever, you can throw them in the top 10 as far as I'm concerned. They can play with anybody. I think Alabama is going to be a team that folks are going to want to come watch play down here in January on the 5th, I believe, when they come to Gainesville to play. Very athletic, fun to watch team, a lot of 3-pointers. Could be a great game. As far as the Gators go, it's tough. I mean, Fleming played well. He had 15 points, 11 rebounds. This would have been a really nice win for them on the road up there at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Did our friend go, by the way? Do you know if our friend went up there and watched the game?
Our friend?
Yeah, we had a friend up in Brooklyn. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh, I don't know if he did or not. I didn't see. Okay. I don't know. I haven't talked to him.
Well, they're 7-3, and it's okay. Ranked 20th. I think that'll probably change. We got South Florida coming in here next Saturday. Got final exams, I guess, this week is usually what happens when they have a whole week off. So South Florida coming in here. Then you got to play Stony Brook, and then we get into the SEC season 2 days before New Year's or 3 days before New Year's with a road trip to Mississippi, QB. And then Alabama opens it up down here on the 5th. So,
I got a Facebook Live here. Sandy's upset. She's putting Good Morning America on because she says everyone has an opinion. Sorry, it doesn't match her. She's talking about the Bills. It's a full game, Sandy. Bills did not play well in the first half. But what they did was they said, okay, Josh Allen, it's your game. Take over. And I'll be damned if here's what I want to say about that. And it was all over Twitter. The Buffalo Bills should have won the game because they had 3 pass interference calls that didn't go their way on that last drive. And all because it's the Buccaneers and Tom Brady. I don't care what anybody says. The Bills threw a fade stop to Stephon Diggs on the last play for the kick the field goal to force overtime.
Yeah.
Diggs was basically tackled in the end zone. The ball should have been put on the 1 yard line. And then in overtime, what happens? Pretty much the same type of play on a go route. Mike Evans gets the call. So, look, Tampa's a very good team, but Buffalo should have won the football game because they could have won it right then. That's my opinion. Everybody has their own opinion. But Buffalo is the best 7-6 team that I've ever seen. And here's the other thing, JC. I heard this stat.
It won't matter.
We have 4 weeks left, right, in the NFL?
Yeah.
80% of the league is 1 game out of the playoffs.
Dang.
They're either in the playoffs or 1 game out. 80% of the teams.
Right. And that's, there's going to be 6 wild card teams. See, they've done it differently with the playoff setup this year. Only 1 team gets a bye. And I think, Buffalo, you're right. They're 7-6, though. They're going to have to fight to battle other teams for these wild card spots. I think New England will win the division unless they completely collapse, which I cannot imagine happening. But Buffalo needs to just find a way to get in, and then anything can happen. But as far as I'm concerned, QB, here we are sitting in mid-December. It's 1 team in the AFC right now that I think is clearly above, head and shoulders above everybody else, and that's in Kansas City. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the way their defense is just awoken, or whatever word I'm trying to find here, at 8:30 in the morning. The Chiefs are playing the best football in the AFC. That is the team you're going to have to beat in Kansas City if you're going to want to go to the Super Bowl, and I can't imagine that happening unless injuries play a part in it. I don't think the Patriots with Mac Jones would be able to win that game there, although you just don't ever count them out. But that's right now the team I would think is the team to beat in the AFC. And in the NFC, QB, it's kind of wide open. I mean, Arizona's a quality team. You'll see them tonight play the Rams. Hopkins is coming back. He's healthier. They're going to bring him slowly in, but he's a great weapon for Murray. But Murray spreads it out amongst a bunch of different wide receivers and running backs. They are very, very well balanced. And with Murray healthy, the Cardinals, I think, could be a very difficult out in the NFC. You can't count Tampa out at all. I know you're not as big a fan of them, but I think the Bucs, go ahead and beat Brady. Good luck. And
I just don't think their defense is very good. I think if I was going to play the Buccaneers, here's my game plan. We may run the football. We may call 5 run plays the entire game. There is no reason to even call a run play. Their secondary, in my opinion, is so bad, and they're so good at stopping the run. I would throw it every down, and that's basically what the Bills did in the second half. And that's how they came back. So
that could be what Green Bay ends up doing if they play Tampa. Because right now Green Bay can just do whatever they want. And I tell you what, they made Chicago look like a Pop Warner team out there defensively. And Aaron Rodgers just does whatever he wants.
He's the most talented guy I've ever seen.
But have you ever seen one? But have you seen one player in the NFL QB? One player have as much success and just basically own, as he says, another team like he owns the Bears. He's won, 20-something games against Chicago and lost a grand total of 4 in his 18 years or whatever years. It's incredible how easy it is for Rodgers and the Packers to beat the Bears. When the Bears were up 10 last night, nobody cared. It didn't matter. We all knew Green Bay was going to score a lot of points. So the NFC with Arizona, Green Bay, you still got to call Tampa Bay in there, Dallas. These are going to be I think it's going to be tougher in the NFC to come out, because in the AFC, to me, it's 1 team. It's Kansas City and the rest of them.
Yep. I got a text here on the Titan War text line from Barrow. It says, decided not to order tickets for the bowl game after what I've seen this year. I didn't want to waste my money. Hopefully the players will play a little bit harder against UCF with Billy Napier observing. Tough loss for the basketball team yesterday. Thanks for the text, Daryl. John's got a Facebook Live brought to you by Meldon Law. I know you don't like to talk recruiting. It's not that I don't like to talk recruiting. It's all, none of us know what's going to happen. But there was a report that the number 1 safety was on campus back in the summer and wanted an offer. But Mullen wanted to look at other safeties. The kid was a lifelong Gator fan.
Right.
I'm hoping to get some recruiting people on this week. Supposedly the Gators, everyone has really loved what they've done with this coaching staff. On their visits here and what have you. Where is that? I had a Facebook Live I wanted to read. John says my Super Bowl pick may be lucky to make the playoffs.
Who is that?
I guess he's talking about the Buffalo Bills. Let me tell you something. Like I said, I think the Buffalo Bills are one of the top 3 teams in the AFC. Easily.
I mean,
their record doesn't say it, but they are.
Well, they've got the guys. They've got the guys. The only thing I think Buffalo's going to have problems with is beating Kansas City. Of course, everybody is, right? And Tennessee is okay. It's a nice team, but they can't win without Henry. And I don't know how effective he'll be coming off a foot injury whenever that happens, if it happens. And then you've got Cleveland, who, if gets healthy, if they can be healthy and run the football, Cleveland's a team you should definitely take into consideration.
Well, they're not even in the playoffs right now.
But they'd have to make it first. So a big win, though, yesterday for Cleveland over Baltimore. Baltimore has just got too many banged-up players. I can't see them doing anything. It's Kansas City. It's AFC is easy to me. It's easy. You got New England, Kansas City, and that's what you got. Chargers could be a team to keep your eye on. In good weather, Herbert and those big, tall wide receivers. You never know about the Chargers. Staley's a really good defensive coach, and he's the head coach of the Chargers. And Chargers could be a difficult team to play. Maybe in the end of the year, they've got 8 wins. But Tennessee can't win without Henry, in my mind. In my mind, Tannehill's just not going to be able to do it on his own. Too many banged up players as well. So Kansas City, it's all about the Chiefs. And in the NFC, I think you got 4 or 5 teams. Really, you do. I think you got 4 or 5. Green Bay, Arizona, Tampa Bay. Maybe even the Rams can sneak up in there. You never know. But those are the NFC to me is going to be tougher. Yeah, to win.
Brad says you can't be a top team at 7-6. I disagree with that. Last year at this time, the Buccaneers were 7-5, folks.
No, the Buccaneers won 3 road games.
My eyes tell me that you do not want to play the damn Buffalo Bills. I'll argue with anybody on that.
But QB, I don't think in Kansas City the Chiefs are worried about the Bills. I want to
say they already lost to the Buffalo Bills this year.
They may have, but we all know that doesn't mean anything. I don't know if that's true.
I know it doesn't, but I'm just telling they beat them. I will say this too. Congratulations to the women's basketball team at Florida. They beat FSU. I think it's the first time they beat them since 2015. The interim coach has got them playing really well.
Yeah,
I think they're like 10-3 or something like that.
Nice to see. Yeah, it's good to see.
Chris asked, "What if Buffalo loses this week? Would that change your opinion?" I don't even know who Buffalo's playing.
They play Carolina and they'll win. But they play Carolina this week. They won't lose to Carolina. Not at home.
No, there's no way.
No, not at home.
Okay, JC, we got to talk about your squad, the Jaguars.
We do. Do we really have to talk about them?
They're not going to win 7 games, as someone told you on this show. My question is, do you think Urban's their coach next year?
I did. I'm starting to lean the other way now. There's so much discontent. He is trying to bring a college rah-rah atmosphere into the locker room that doesn't seem to want to have anything to do with that.
Has that ever worked in the National Football League?
Not that I can recall. Now, Pete Carroll was a rah-rah type of coach at Southern Cal, but he found a way at Seattle. But Urban's problem is having these guys want to play. Do these guys want to play hard for them? And I know they're pros and they get paid and this and that, but you can watch them and tell, man, they're not out there throwing it on the line.
Here's the problem.
They don't.
And I told you before the season, you win in the NFL with good players. Okay. Mm-hmm. They don't have any good players on that team. Okay. And Urban is used to having the best players in America, and he can't handle not having the best players. And there's a lot of issues with his coaching staff. I don't know what's going to happen.
I just hope he doesn't ruin Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I
think Trevor's got a good head on his shoulders. I think
4 picks.
He has no help around him. I don't care if he throws 10 picks. The kid is talented. He has zero help. I'm telling you right now.
That's true.
The 2 worst rosters, maybe 3. There's 3 rosters in the National Football League, and I haven't watched them, but when few clips that I've watched, or few quarters, is as bad of talent as I've ever seen in the NFL on rosters are the Jaguars, the Detroit Lions, and the Atlanta Falcons. And somehow the Falcons are winning. They're 6-7. I have no idea how.
Well, I would
roster
say
is horrible.
you could throw the Jets on there too. It's true, and the Giants. Their roster's not good either.
They got some good players though.
They might, but these are really bad. Houston is a really bad football team as well. Who do you even play? Can anybody name these quarterbacks for these teams other than Zach Wilson? So, Houston is awful. Atlanta, though, to their credit, man, they've won 6 games. They're in the playoff hunt, believe it or not, for a wild card still.
Mm-hmm. Daniel says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law, did I see Urban's post-game handshake? He just looks defeated. Let me tell you something. Vrabel coached for him, and I don't know if you saw it, JC, but it was embarrassing. He hardly even shook him or looked him in the eye, just kind of. But I don't think Vrabel cares for him, from what I've been told.
Well, yeah. Vrabel's kind of let's get to midfield, do it, and go. He doesn't.
Vrabel jogged out there. Yeah. Urban was barely walking. He shook his hand. Urban didn't even look at him, and it's just
it's embarrassing.
Come on, man. I mean, you lose. Shake the coach's hand. The guy worked for you.
So basically, let's put him out of his misery. Shad needs to write a check and just start over, reboot the whole damn thing. Is that what you're saying? QB, kind of like
I don't know. No, I don't know, because people are talking about year 2 they got to go out and get good players. But it's like I told you, they couldn't get good players this year in free agency because nobody wants to go play for that franchise and lose football games. Yeah, you don't pay state taxes. I don't care how much money they offer the top free agent. He's going to take less money and go play where he can win.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. You've got 2 other teams in Florida that seem to be turning the ship around. Well, one of them did, Miami. And then of course, you've got Tampa, which is the ultimate destination right now, it seems. But, yeah, Jacksonville's got a lot of problems. And I don't know if Herb really knows how to fix them. I think you're right. I think you make a good point about him having or being used to having anybody he wants to play for him. And in the NFL, it doesn't work like that, right? So, I mean, it could.
You got to be able to coach.
But you got to be able
to. You got to coach your tail off when you don't have great talent.
I don't know what Khan's going to do. I mean, he's the guy who brought Urban in here, right? Urban's probably sitting there talking to Shelley at the house saying, damn, we could have had the Notre Dame job if I had just waited a little longer. So, I don't know what they're going to do. It's really, there are no answers right now. I got nothing. I mean, they've had all this money under the cap. They've had all these picks.
Nobody wants to go play,
and nobody can, and they can't do anything. They're going to have the 1 or 2 pick next year in the draft. Good Lord, man, do something, please. It's a shame because the fans will go and watch if they could just get somebody to watch, right? So they did have 2 wins this year, though.
Yeah, but you thought they were going to have more than 7.
I did.
They're such a bad football team. You also thought my Louisville Cardinals were only going to win less than 4 games. They're in a bowl somehow. I think they won 7
special.
games.
Okay,
John says the Dolphins are just 1 game behind the Bills. People are all over me about Buffalo. Are you people don't see a good football team? I don't know what y'all.
Well, QB, they're looking at the record. You remember what Dennis Green said? You know what Dennis Green said.
You are what you are. I agree. And they are what they are record-wise, but I can promise you nobody wants to play those suckers.
I don't think the Chiefs give a 2 flips if they play those suckers. They'd blow them out.
I told you, that is true. But the Chiefs have already lost at home to the Buffalo Bills.
That doesn't
the Bills
mean
make the playoffs. Well, they won the game, JC.
They won the game. They're not beating Kansas City. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. You can have the Bills. I'll take the Chiefs. How's that?
Well, that is the dumbest bet ever.
Dumbest thing I've ever seen. Right. Well, listen. Kansas City's winning the AFC. Forget about your Bills. Okay, the Bills are going to finish 10-8, 10-7, maybe 9-8. Whatever. They played hard yesterday. They did, but they lost.
Go out on a limb, JC, with the best team with the playing the best. They're going to win the AFC.
Well, they weren't playing the best for the first 2 months, QB, but you know darn well that the Chiefs are the team to beat. You know that. Everybody knows it.
Well,
and
I
you know
think
what?
the Chiefs are playing well now, but
Buffalo's 7-6. They'll win. They'll be 8-6. They have to play at New England. I don't know. Flip a coin. Let's say they lose that and they're 8-7. Then they play Atlanta and New York at home, so they end up 10-7. That'll get them in a wild card spot, so you don't have to worry about it. They're going to get in there.
I'm not worried. I mean, I could care less if they make the playoffs or not. I'm just trying to tell people they're a very good football team. You know what's killing them is what people don't realize. Defensively, they're very good. They're like I think second or third in the league in defense. But they lost Tre'Davious White.
Losing White is a killer. It's a killer
because they're a man-to-man safety down in the box defense, and they're still playing that, but they don't have the coverage skills of the kid that's playing for him. But I'm not saying. Well, I did pick Buffalo to win the Super Bowl.
Yes, you did.
Which is much. Who did you pick again? By the way, I think it was like the Browns.
I had the Browns.
Yeah.
Well, does anybody want to play a healthy Browns team that can run the ball over anybody with that offensive line?
I'm sure they would much rather play the Browns than the Bills.
Are you?
Absolutely. With Josh Allen at quarterback, you kidding me?
Well, okay. Well, the Browns and the Bills have the same record there, Coach.
I understand that.
So,
all right, JC, we'll let you go. You go hit the ball, whatever you're doing.
I did yesterday, my man. 8 pars, 1 double on the backside, cleaned house, baby. So there you go. Sunday golf.
Brad says nobody's scared to play the Bills. I thought Tampa would. Tampa would what? Tampa should have lost the game.
Well, they were winning.
Get the calls,
QB.
I'm just telling you, because pass interference is a judgmental call by the refs. You go back and you watch the last drive of the Buffalo Bills in regulation, and you tell me if they didn't get screwed on those calls. And in the very next drive, Tampa gets the pass interference call on Mike Evans. So it is what it is. I mean, Tampa is a very good football team, but I'm telling you, their secondary is just garbage. In NFL garbage.
It'll be hard to deal with Green Bay, I think, if they end up playing Green Bay, but you just don't bet against Brady ever.
Well,
and Arizona right now, to me, if they play at home, that'll take weather out of all of the equations for the Cardinals. They'll have the home field, and that could be all it takes.
I just wish.
It's tough going out to Arizona, dude.
It's a shame. It's a shame that Aaron Rodgers is close to the end of his career, that he didn't have 3 or 4 top-notch wide receivers. I mean, he's got one in Devontae Adams.
Yes,
but
he does.
You gave that dude,
Jordy Nelson, he had Jordy Nelson. He had some good play. He had some good play. Jordy Nelson caught everything, bro. He's the Adam Thielen, but faster.
My point is, give him 3 legitimate wide receivers, and who knows what that guy could have done.
Well, listen, he's done a lot. Okay, so you don't have to prove
I know that. I'm just saying.
But
he's so freaking talented.
He is great. He's great. But guess what? Last year he lost to Tampa at home. So
because the coach didn't let him win the game. Okay. You got to blame that on the coach.
All right, I'll blame it on the coach.
You don't remember what happened?
I do remember Tampa winning.
Yeah, all they had to do was, instead of kick a field goal, is let Aaron Rodgers go for it on 4th and 2 or whatever it was, and they win. So, all right, JC, we got to go.
Okay, all right. Okay.
All right, we're going to take our first time out. And as Dan says, Green Bay has never helped him coming from the draft and free agency. You're 100% correct. You're watching and listening to Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. We'll be right back.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co. Some of our touchdown sponsors are MB Listing, McDonald's of Gainesville, My IT Masters, Gainesville Neon and Signs, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Avera and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Ruse Ogra Agent, State Farm Insurance, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the Advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Hi, Steve Spurrier here. You know, making a reservation at my restaurant is easier than a Saturday afternoon homecoming game against Vandy. You don't have to call or email. Just go to spurriers.com, hit the reservation button, pick a date, a number of guests, and a time. It's so simple, I can do it. In fact, I just did. Maybe I'll see you tonight.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Celebration points where the Gators go to celebrate with premium brands like Nike, Regal Cinemas, Le Macaron, Dave & Buster's, Medici's, Palmetto Moon, and the HBC's restaurant Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, now serving brunch on Saturday and Sundays. We'll see you at Celebration Point where the Gators go to celebrate. I want to thank JC for joining us on the Titan MR hotline. Shoot me your text and your Facebook Live comments or questions. John says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law. I'm a little surprised. Crud, it just went away. Where is it? Here it is. I'm a little surprised no one else saw the Brian Kelly video. It's one of those awkward videos that you can't. Yeah, I think, John, you're referring to him dancing with the quarterback, Walker Howard. Yeah, it was very bizarre. I thought Walker Howard was going to flip to Florida, but with his dad being a former quarterback there and his ties to LSU growing up there, looks like he's going to be an LSU Tiger, and he will be signing on Wednesday with them. Brad says, I thought Tampa would win the game big, and they were up until they let their foot off the gas in the second half. Buffalo had all the momentum and still couldn't put it away at the end. Good football teams win those games. Yeah, good football team. They are. They get a pass interference there at the end, which should have been called. They win the game. So, unbelievable. Again, if you missed it, Gators lose to Maryland up in Brooklyn, 70-68. Had a shot to win it. Tyree Appleby had one online, just a little long. Would have been another game winner for Appleby. I thought they scrapped. I thought Maryland shot the ball really well from the three-point arc. But our kids played hard, I thought, and give Maryland credit. Also, want to give a shout out to the women's basketball team for their big win over FSU. It's been a long time since our girls have beaten them. And then if you missed it, volleyball, their season ended, I think it was against Louisville over the weekend as well. I think basketball is back in action, I believe, Saturday against South Florida. And big recruiting weekend. Hopefully to get somebody on tomorrow, Wednesday, to talk about recruiting. Early signing period is Wednesday, I believe. Wednesday. And we'll see. Get your thoughts on what you think, how Billy Napier and his staff, he keeps hiring people. I think Corey Raymond is a tremendous, tremendous hire. You've already seen a lot of stuff on Twitter about that, I'm sure. And Dan says here, Brian Kelly with a smiley face. Yeah, Brian Kelly needs to just act himself. He needs to quit all this silliness. I mean, good gracious. It was very awkward. His video, if you didn't see it, Google it, and we'll go from there. John says if the Gators get the illegal screen call, we probably go to OT last night. Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of opportunities to have a chance to win that game. And Rick says the officials work for Tampa Bay. They got a lot of calls. They got a ton of calls in that game, but they always will. Okay, Chris Doring Mortgage. They do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Doring Mortgage today at 352-244-0840. Getting a ton of texts here. I'm going to read a couple of these on the Titan MR text line. I'm trying to get my comment section to start working again. I don't know why it freezes up like that. But we've got a text here from Bill. Bill wants to know, Shane, do you think Billy Napier signs any quarterbacks this year? I absolutely do. I think he's going to sign a couple. I don't know who. I don't know any of that. May not be Wednesday, but I think he may get a couple in the transfer portal. We shall see. Right now we got four quarterbacks on scholarship. He will probably sit down with each one of them once the bowl game is over and their exit meetings. Give him his thoughts on where he might see them. I have a feeling all four will come back for spring ball, and then we'll go from there after that. Dan says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Meldon Law, transfer portal this year and top recruiting class next year for Napier. Yeah, the transfer portal is crazy right now. Tons of people going into the transfer portal, as we mentioned earlier in the show. Bo Nix, the starting quarterback at Auburn, Tank Bigsby. A lot of guys are getting out of there. John says, plenty of kids to choose from. Give me Tank Bigsby. I agree 100%. Love the way he runs the football and some of those Clemson players. I don't know how many Clemson guys are in the portal, but we shall see. This is from John on Facebook Live. QB, what should we expect in the bowl game given all the players that are leaving? I do think Napier's getting rid of players that need to go. I just want to see us play hard, whether we win or lose this game. It's a terrible matchup for us, just because you lose to UCF, you got to hear about it. The players that have already entered the transfer portal, I would not lose any sleep over it. Nothing against those guys, but their production and basically their production and talent level of what I have seen wasn't what it was supposed to be, I should say. But I don't think what happens is a lot of kids, they come in because of the coach or the relationships with those coaches. And then when the new staff comes in, they're going to put their stamp on the program. From an accountability standpoint, they're going to change different ways they do things. And I think a lot of it has to do with accountability. Some kids aren't used to that. Maybe they've been getting away with things. They don't like how the new coach is enforcing stuff, changing rules or what have you, the way he does things. And so, it's a way that the coaches can get rid of the kids. And I think sometimes fans freak out too much when kids go into the portal, and they've played a little bit, but hell, that doesn't mean they should be playing. Like I told you, there was 2 series against South Carolina that we played where we had our second string front 7 in, and we forced 2 punts against South Carolina. And every time we had our starters in there, South Carolina just moved the ball right down the field. So I wouldn't really worry about who goes into the portal. Daniel says here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Meldon Law. A little PGA for you. Kevin Na and Jason Kokrak win this weekend. Kevin Na is one of my favorite sports interviews. Yeah, he's changed his game a lot. He used to be the one that couldn't pull it back. He would it's hard to explain on air here. But he had some issues, and I want to say Billy Horschel came in second with his partner, Sam Burns. So, we got golf to talk about, NBA, whatever you want to talk about here. College basketball has been great this year. The best team in America is the Baylor Bears, your defending national champs. They just hammered Villanova yesterday in Waco, but a lot of the so-called experts think Baylor can go back-to-back. They are loaded. John also says, Dan Lanning, what are my thoughts on him going to Oregon? It's the defensive coordinator of the Georgia Bulldogs. It's an interesting hire. I know nothing about Dan Lanning, really. I don't really care personally having defensive-minded coaches as my head coach. But maybe that'll be good for Oregon. I don't know. I still think Lincoln Riley is going to run the Pac-12 now. Richard says fall cleaning underway. Yep, and there's going to be more cleaning, I believe, as well. If you got shoulder, hip, or back pain in your joints that won't go away, you need to check out QC Kinetics for long-lasting relief. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. Schedule your free consultation at QC Kinetics, 352-400-4550. Call them today. That's QC Kinetics, 352-400-4550. Oh, crud. I forgot to, JC and I forgot to talk about our Peachland Dental weekend picks. I can't remember. I don't have them written down with me right now, but we'll go over that on Wednesday. See who did the best. I had like a 3 or 4 game lead on Corn Dog. I don't know how I did. I can't remember who I picked this week. Yeah, so I'm anxious to see what happens on Wednesday signing day. John says, was Lanning really in charge of Georgia's defense with Kirby and Muschamp there? Muschamp is now being promoted to DC. I mean, I'm sure he had a little bit to do with it, but you know, Kirby coaches the defense as well as Will. Will probably take over as the new DC for sure. It's a good combination they have there, because Kirby and Will Muschamp are very good defensive coordinators, and that's why you see Georgia play really good defense. However, they're going to need to make some adjustments if they face the Alabama Crimson Tide again, because Bryce Young, your Heisman Trophy winner, will carve them up once again. I still can't believe that the Hutchinson kid came in second in the Heisman Trophy vote. I don't understand how that was even possible. But I think it had something to do with the voting by regions. We're going to take our second time out of the program. Come back, have a few more comments, and wrap up this Monday edition. You're watching and listening to Pod Up with Matthews in the morning.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Doreen Wiebe Realtor, Caldwell Banker, MM Parish, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Wrap Spot, Okito America, Gators Dockside, Style Cuts, Big Mills Cheesesteaks. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios at South State Bank. We understand that small businesses need a community business partner they can rely on. South State has 4 convenient Alachua County locations. South State Bank, banking forward, member FDIC. Got a few more Facebook Lives before we get out of here. John says, I read yesterday Lanning is trying to take the FSU OC with him to Oregon. I don't even know who that is. So who has the better job, FSU or Oregon? Well, from a facility standpoint, Oregon, but I still think Florida State is clearly the better job than Oregon. Oregon's never won anything. People forget that. Dan says, the Heisman has always been a regional and offensive award. They wouldn't even vote for underclassmen not that long ago. That is true. I want to read This Day in Sports, brought to you by our good friends at Comfort Temp. Comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. Comfort Temp's now hiring team members with all levels of experience. They're going to give $1,000 signing bonus for qualified positions. Give Comfort Temp a call, 352-376-2366. 1997, the 63rd Heisman Trophy Award on this date was given to Charles Woodson. Maybe the last defensive player to win this award, but he also returned punts and things of that nature. So Charles Woodson and boy, was he a good player. He was a tremendous player in the National Football League and the Hall of Fame as well. I had one other Facebook Live, and I can't find it now. Michael says, Shane, do you know of any of the details in remaking Ben Hill Griffin? I guess in remaking, I think they're going to remodel it at some point. Hopefully they'll do something in the south end zone, lower section, to make it more friendly for recruits, first of all. But I don't know a whole lot going on there. But they will do something eventually in the next few years, I would think. And then Mary says, if they don't want to step up and play to their ability, then we don't need them. If that was the best they could play, then best of luck to them. I think she's referring to some of the Gators that are transferring. And John says the fan vote winner for the Heisman was Matt Corral. I did see that. I think Matt Corral is going to be a tremendous pro. He's a competitor, man. You like the way he competes for sure. Hope you enjoyed today's show. We'll have Buddy Martin on tomorrow, and we're going to talk a little recruiting as the week goes on as well. Big day on Wednesday around the nation for high school kids. Today's show's a wrap, brought to you by Wrap Spot. Be safe, folks. We'll see you tomorrow.